Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Beyond the Dais, a podcast about the stories taking place in and around El Paso County, Colorado. I'm your host, Scott Anderson, and today I am joined by Traci Marques, the CEO of the Pikes Peak Workforce Center. How are you doing today, Traci?
Good, thank you, Scott. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Thank you for
Awesome.
having me. It's a Friday afternoon. Nothing more I'd want to be doing than sitting here in your office talking about everything that's going on at the Pikes Peak Workforce Center.
Right.
Very
Everyone does.
Who wouldn't want to be in my shoes right now?
Exactly.
Before we get started, though, I do want to quickly add that if listeners are interested in more stories about people doing good in and around El Paso County, or hearing from county leadership about local government priorities and how they operate, you can find additional episodes of this podcast on your podcast platform of choice. To get started today, though, Traci, I was wondering if you could give some background about yourself and how you ended up here at the Pikes Peak Workforce Center.
Great. Well, thank you for this opportunity. Really excited to share who we are as the Pikes Peak Workforce Center. And me personally, I've been with the Pikes Peak Workforce Center for 12 years. I've been in this position a little bit over 5 years, about 5.5 years. Before I was a financial advisor, I was in the financial services industry, lived in Colorado for over 15 years right now, 3 children, 3 girls, 16-year-old twins, and a 20-year-old who is on her way to school in Florida. So we love Colorado Springs. We love the region. We love the area and everything that has to offer.
What initially brought you out here to Colorado?
My ex-husband was military, so we were stationed out here. This is our 3rd time out here, and we just love the area, and it was just a great area to retire in and be in.
Awesome. Very cool. So can you talk a little bit about the Workforce Center itself and what it does for the community?
For those who don't know what the Workforce Center is, Pikes Peak Workforce Center, we are the region's American Job Center. We are congressionally mandated and federally funded. There has been some type of a workforce center around since the Great Depression. The congressionally mandates that every county in the nation is associated with a workforce center. In the state of Colorado, there are 10 workforce regions. We represent the Pikes Peak region, which is El Paso and Teller County. When people say, what do you do? What's a workforce center? I say we're like Match.com. We help job seekers find employees, and we help employers find employees. We're really that connector to connect the dot.
Hopefully more successful than my experience with Match.com.
Well, we have all the swiping now, so I haven't figured out another, way to say it with the swiping.
Yeah,
so if you have any ideas, please let me know.
See, all I know is swipe or no swiping. So that's all I know. So what are some of the current trends you're seeing in workforce? I think that's something that people probably have a hard time keeping their eye on. If you have a job, you probably don't keep track of what the workforce is generally like and what people tend to be looking for. But at the same time, anyone could be looking for a job at pretty much any point in time, right? So what are some of the current trends happening right here in El Paso County region?
Great question. And you really look at workforce, and workforce is an ongoing talent development strategy. Not only do we represent the job seekers and help them match the skills that they have and transferable skills to the open positions that we have in our region, we represent the business side of the house as far as we have an open job description. These are the talent we're looking for. So we really try to help match the two together. And if you look at trends right now, especially coming out of the pandemic, there's more open positions than there are people looking for work. There's 0.75 of a person available for every job opening we have in our region. And if you look at the job openings and the job postings that we have and the skill sets that are needed to fill those jobs versus the people who are looking for jobs right now, there's a skills gap. When you look at the skills gap, you're looking at, I was in healthcare for 35 years and I got laid off. What am I going to do next? And you're thinking, I have to go into healthcare because that's all I know. What we're really looking at and the trends that we're starting to see, and we hope people start recognizing them, is your transferable skill sets. What are the transferable skill sets that you had in your past position, and how does that relate to open positions that you have? Another way to look at it is within the county. Look in the county within the different departments that we have in the county, and how can you take a skill set that you had working, I'm just going to say in the DMV, and that's where you've been for 25 plus years, really looking at the skill sets that are associated with that position, and where else in the county do you have a career pathway that you can move into? And that's what we're looking at, skills gaps, skills that you have, transferable skills, and really career pathways.
Yeah, and I just think about my own experience in trying to find a job and looking at the idea of the skills gap. One of the hardest things for me as an individual was, do the businesses I'm applying for understand the skills gap, right? It's like, hey, I think I'm a pretty smart guy who has transferable skills, but does the business understand how that works, or that I, have that ability, right? I think that's a lot harder than to get that information across to an individual. So how are you able to do that successfully for businesses to kind of change their mindset of, they have their job description, maybe in the past they were just looking at all these, do they check all these boxes? Yes, okay, let's interview them. No, okay, well, we're not interested. How do you help businesses maybe open up their minds a little bit to understand, maybe broaden your horizons when it comes to that sort of thing?
It's a great question. We have a business relations team, a staff dedicated to serving the business needs. And we sit down, we talk to the business, and the first thing they say is, we can't find workforce. We can't find the talent we need. Everyone who's applying doesn't have what we need. And we sit there and we ask them, we have honest conversations, and let's look at your job description. Is your job description a skills-based job description? If it's one that they dusted off from 20 years ago, we're going to ask them, can we have a copy of that? And we're going to transfer this for you into a skills-based job description. We're also going to have honest conversations with businesses of why do you need a bachelor's degree? Your position as an executive assistant, administrative assistant, do you really need to have a bachelor's degree? A lot of times employers will come to us and say, well, we know they can complete a project and they're dedicated and they can learn and they have great teamwork. And then we ask them the same question as far as, if you don't have a bachelor's degree, can you still have those skill sets? Yes, we can. Well, let's take that out. And all of a sudden now you're opening up your candidate pool to a lot more people who are interested in applying for a job. The other conversation that we have for business is, what kind of bias do you have in your job description? Let's say your job description says you must lift 50 pounds. And all of a sudden now that is going to cut people out from applying for that position because you have to lift 50 pounds and they can't lift 50 pounds. We'll ask that business of why. Why do you have to lift 50 pounds? Well, at the holidays, we have these Christmas decorations and we have to get the box off the top shelf and bring it all the way down. And we go, well, can you maybe just move the box? Well, yeah, we can move the box. Do you have a dolly that you can use or someone that can help them move the box? Oh, yeah, we've got all that. Well, let's take it out of the job description. Let's really define what's needed and not do all the extra that you're really eliminating people applying for the job.
So when you're flipping the coin, I guess, and looking at the individual, what should potential employees then, if businesses are switching more to this skills-based approach to their job descriptions, how can potential employees draft their resume, let's say, to be more focused on a skills-based resume as opposed to, hey, I got my degree from here, or, I graduated from here, whatever the case is. I've worked at these 2 or 3 jobs. Like, how do they line that up with maybe how businesses are looking at things nowadays?
One, we have a lot of staff that's educated and trained in doing skills-based hiring and looking at resumes and transferring those into a skills-based resume. There's software programs out there. There's a lot of technology. There's a lot of artificial technology that's able to do it. And one of the new trends that we have coming up is what's called LERs, Learner Employment Records. Learner Employment Records has the capability, it's a digital wallet, and it has a capability of scanning your resume, uploading your resume. Based on your resume, it will extract the skills that you have. You may have a certification in web design, and that's the only piece that's on your resume is, graduated with a certificate in web design in 2022. That will take that web design certification and that will actually extract it through technology and AI and other IT stuff that I have no clue about, and then really tell the skill sets that are associated with someone that has a web design certification. And all of a sudden now your skills base are going to be so much more than what you ever thought it could be by using technology to really extract that information from your resume.
So I understand that this is like a pilot program that you guys are working on right now. When did it get started? What are some of the things you're hoping to see accomplished from running this pilot program? Talk to us a little bit about that.
It is a pilot program. We are one of the first workforce centers, workforce boards in the nation to pilot this LER platform and really bring it live. We just introduced it to staff this afternoon in an all-staff meeting and trained some of our board members on it earlier today. This technology is really geared towards meeting people where they are, not where we think they should be. That's our philosophy of the workforce is we want to make sure we take that holistic approach and giving people the best possible opportunity that they have to be their best possible self. Someone walks through our door, we know that anyone can use our services. Anyone who never graduated 8th grade to people with multiple PhDs, anyone can use our services. And if you walk through our doors, we have no idea where you're coming from. You could have just been evicted from your apartment, or you had to walk here and catch the bus and it's raining outside and you're having the worst day in your entire life. Or you can come in for unemployment benefits because they're not getting benefits after 20 weeks of trying to call. You come in and we can take that information that you have, your resume or the job titles that you've had in them before, upload them into this system, a digital wallet that is the person's digital wallet. It's theirs to keep. It's not ours. We don't own it. We don't have access to the data. They take this digital wallet and it goes with them across state lines, across county lines. And it really takes the skills that they have into it and says, okay, here are the skills that you have. And you've only worked in manufacturing. This is all you think you can do is manufacturing. And right now there's no jobs in manufacturing, for example. It will take those skills and transfer them into a different industry. How does what you did in manufacturing go into a healthcare job? And then it takes it from a healthcare job as saying, okay, what do you want to do in healthcare? And there's all range of industry standards that you have and positions that you can do in the healthcare industry. And then it says, okay, if you want to go into medical assistant or medical coding, these are the certifications that you're going to need to get in here. And you click on a button, all of a sudden you list all the local training providers that will be able to provide that training for you. And then, now I'm looking for a job. It's actually going to hook and link to a job board that has all the open positions in medical coding and the salaries and the growth potential economic outlook of that position. So it's a really great opportunity to really focus on the skills-based hiring and focus on where you can go next and what could be.
Yeah, it sounds incredible. I am thinking about people who at some point in their career go through a career change, an extremely potentially scary proposition. You know, you've maybe worked your whole life in one career and it's time for a change for whatever reason. You know, that could be any number of things. But the idea of switching to something quote unquote completely new can be terrifying, especially when you don't think that you're qualified or you just think that there are all these other people out there who could be better at you than it, or went to school for it, or X, Y, or Z. Right? You can think of any number of reasons why you are not qualified for something. But what's so cool sounding about this is maybe giving you that confidence boost that you need. Because, I always say to myself, if I can get in the door to do an interview, I feel really confident about, being able to talk about myself. And this sounds like something that could really help push people to get to that point. Like, you actually do have a lot of skills and abilities that you probably didn't think you did, but here's the proof that you do. And now you can go talk to somebody and be comfortable in that environment, be doing an interview, filling out a resume, whatever the case is, because you can do it. Right? Like you have been there. It just had a different form to it.
Exactly. And with this capability with LER, you can share your digital wallet. If you have an employer that is interested that you're interviewing with, you can share your digital wallet with that employer. The other thing that this is really great as, it levels the playing field. It levels the playing field that it doesn't discriminate of, okay, you've worked in this company before, it's a great company, and someone who's worked in a small mom and pop that no one ever heard about. It really levels the playing field. You have the same skill sets and you're going to present the same way to the employer. The other thing that the Pikes Peak Workforce Center does is these other wraparound services. All of a sudden now you're going from manufacturing to healthcare. You're excited because you have these skill sets, but I'm really nervous. How do I express it? How do I talk about it? We have staff that are able to do not only resume review, but interview prep. You can do a mock interview with one of our staff members to help answer the questions. And we have questions in different industries of these are the questions you're going to be asked most likely. And you can actually practice. That's really important with this too, especially if you're not used to talking about your skills, you're used to talking about your positions. This really gives you opportunity to explore it and try it.
Yeah. And one of the things you mentioned before is being able to use this maybe if you leave El Paso County. What does that look like for someone who is working here, maybe wants to, life happens, right? Maybe they need to look for a job somewhere because of family situations or whatever the case. Does the LER, does it transfer with you wherever you go? Is it something that businesses outside of the Pikes Peak region accept? Tell me a little bit about that.
It does. It's in the cloud and it's accessible wherever you are. Think of a military spouse. Your spouse is stationed here at Fort Carson. They're here for 3 years. You worked in this company, retail hospitality company, and all of a sudden now you're getting stationed to North Carolina. Well, how am I going to take this digital wallet with you? This digital wallet belongs to the person. It's not the organization. It's not the Pikes Peak Workforce Center. It's not the county. It belongs to that individual, and it goes with them across state lines. So they'll be able to take that wallet with them to North Carolina. When they get there, they could get a job in, a law firm, and all of a sudden, they have that position, and they can upload their skill sets into this digital wallet and take it with them wherever they go next.
So we talked a lot about how it benefits the individual. How does something like this benefit a business? I mean, maybe fortunately I haven't been on the HR side of things at businesses before. What does this look like from a business perspective when someone comes at you with something like this?
Businesses really need to start rethinking their hiring and what they're focusing on. Change their lens that they're looking through when they're looking at talent development. Talent development has to be skills-based hiring, and is it verifiable and recognizable credentials? With this LER in your digital wallet, their verifiable credentials and the skill sets are confirmed in there. And they're self-attested, or you have some certifications that actually acknowledge that and verify it, but it's actually giving a business the real life, real truth of who you are and the skill sets that you have, not just what's on a resume. It gives you a lot more. You will still have a resume because employers want resume. You still have to fill out the application, which is great. But all of a sudden now you're able to present to the business a different way to view you as an individual and how you fit into their corporation.
That sounds awesome. That sounds awesome. I'm really excited to see what this looks like. So you said the pilot program, you just kind of started talking about it today. How are people going to be able to interact with it? Where can they go to get this LER? Like, what does that look like?
So the Pikes Peak Workforce Center, we will have 25,000 digital wallets to give out to our community. We want people to play and test with this. This is a brand new technology that's out there that's transferable, and really looking at seeing what else do we need. We were talking to our staff today, and we're talking about, I got my degree in a different country. And, you may be a military spouse moving here, and you have a degree from Germany. Mm-hmm. So how can I take the transcripts from Germany and my university and transfer it into here to the skill sets that I have? Yeah. This digital wallet has a capability to do that, which is going to be really important to be able to moving into the future as far as being able to expand what you're doing and how you're doing it. And like I said, meet people where they are, not where we think they should be.
And so if I am someone who wants to get one of these 25,000 digital, just one, not all 25,000.
Just one place, yes.
Do they need to come into the Workforce Center to do that? Is it something they can get online? How would that happen?
Right now we're just doing a beta test, just testing it. Right now we introduced it to staff. My philosophy is, if our staff doesn't believe in the technology and what it can do and the potential it has for the customers that we serve, both businesses and job seekers, it's not going to work. We're going to spend the next month, 30 days, 60 days for staff to explore with it. We have direct feedback to the developers of this product to really provide them feedback and different information that we want to see. Hey, we want this button over to the right when it's over on the left now, or can we add, something else to it? So we'll probably spend 30 to 60 days with just the staff beta testing. Mm-hmm. But other people that come in and say, hey, I want to try it, we want feedback. We don't know what we don't know, and this really gives us an opportunity to explore this. We would say by, end of the fall, we'll be able to have this available. And it's good not only for people who are searching for jobs, but for county employees. County employees, you want to know what the skill sets you have. You can have the digital wallet to really look at and explore what you want to do. We know one of the strategic pillars for the county is really about career pathways and existing employees within the county. Where do you go? How do you, access different positions within different departments? Mm-hmm. This digital wallet LER will help create pathways. It actually already has career pathways in it in a government setting.
Nice. So it sounds like something that's in the near horizon for people, and probably just keep an eye on the Pikes Peak Workforce website for announcements about when that's going to be coming out for people.
Exactly. Our website, ppwfc.org, our social media pages on Instagram and Facebook will have that information once we start rolling it out. We just need to get the procedures in place of what we're going to do, how we're going to do it before we can completely roll it out.
So speaking about other things that are on like the near horizon, the Pikes Peak Workforce Center puts on events, participates in events every now and then. Can you talk about some of those events that are coming up in the near future that the community will be able to participate in?
Yes, on August 22nd, we have a job fair from 10 to 1 for older Americans. Older Americans in our world is age 55 and plus. So beyond age job fair, specifically companies that are interested in hiring the talent that are ages 55 and plus. That's going to be here at the Pikes Peak Workforce Center. We have over 20 companies already registered to attend. But this is a great way for those who maybe are re-entering the workforce, trying to figure out, do I want a full-time job, part-time job? This is a great way to come in and look at companies that are interested in your skill sets. Highly recommend before you attend one of those job fairs, come visit one of our workshops that we have as far as, how do you update your resume? What's a skills-based resume? We have the resources both online and in person to help you.
Very good. And then before we close out the conversation, just wanted to ask if there's anything else that you want to add that you think would be important for people to know.
I think what's really important is we are a no-cost service. All of our services are available both to job seekers and businesses at no cost. We're federally funded. We're funded by the Colorado Department of Labor and Employment up at the state, and we are truly a neutral third party that's able to help our community. We're able to help those who, like I said at the beginning, never graduated 8th grade, to people with multiple PhDs. Are you currently employed? Are you underemployed? And we're here to help businesses. We're help business to attract and retain the talent that we have to make us an economical vitality in their community.
And then also just to let people know, if they are going to come visit you, you guys are located on Garden of the Gods, 1675 Garden of the Gods Road,
1675.
Is that right? And in the Citizen Service Center. So for people who are interested in coming by the Pikes Peak Workforce Center, that's where you'll find them, on the first floor as you come into the CSC.
Yes, exactly.
Yes,
1675 Garden of the Gods Road. We're located on the first floor. Come see us, and we're happy to help you and just have a conversation with you and figure out what it is and how we can help.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Traci. I appreciate you taking the time today and for all the work that you guys do here at the Pikes Peak Workforce Center, not just for El Paso County, but for the whole region. So thank you for taking the time today.
Well, thank you very much for this opportunity.
Absolutely. If you are interested in listening to additional episodes of Beyond the Dais, be sure to look for us on Podbean or wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.